Wow. Okay. So here we are, Power Hour 2.0. My name is Veronica Valentino. The ladies are here. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Renee Rand. And wow, what a topic we have this evening. I'll tell you what, I am blown away because one of our listeners jumped in. She's like, I am so upset. I'm so upset. I need to talk about this topic tonight. But before we get to the topic this evening, I have to say we hit our 800 goal. We have 800 amazing women here, and I'm super excited about that. Yay! Some applause.
Yay! Yay!
And we're sponsored by Zinzino. Is an omega-3 balanced oil with polyphenols. We're brought to you by Zinzino. And how do we find out about our omega-6 to 3 ratio? We have a test. But before we get started, I'm going to bring my co-host in here this evening. And Miss Renee Rand, if you could say a few words about what is going on.
Absolutely. Well, we're really excited. We have a lot going on, actually, but tonight we're going to be talking about sexual wellness. And we both Veronica and myself have a background. I have over 40 years in this field. And so it's one of the things that I love to talk about because helping women make a difference on how they feel about themselves, and especially focusing on what's going on during menopause, can make such a difference, not only in self-care, but also in just generally making a difference and knowing what's going on with their bodies. So we're going to talk about that today. And Christina had called us the other day, and we were about 5 days ago, and we said, let's make that our next show. So we were excited about doing that today. And I'm looking forward to it, Veronica. I know you are.
Yeah. You know what? We're in the Christmas holidays, the Christmas spirit, and super excited about that as well. But so happy to have all these amazing listeners and followers. So don't forget to share, invite, tell everybody about us. You know what? If you have a question or a comment, come in, call that 800 number, 877-776-3985, or just reach out to us. We're all over the place and super excited about that. I was really excited that we hit 800 last week.
So exciting.
And one of our lucky winners won an amazing romance package. I know that we're getting that out to her, and she's super excited about that as well. So we're going to jump into this right now. So,
absolutely.
Use it or lose it. Health in menopause and andropause. It's in the nether region, so we have to stay compliant and be careful about what we say. But I think you get what we mean by use it or lose it. And in menopause, especially with women in menopause, in the nether regions. But we'll also get to the guys too. This is it has to do with regular sexual activity, and it can help mitigate symptoms of atrophy through medical treatments, and we're here to understand what is going on with our bodies, just to fully manage the conditions. Menopause atrophy, just atrophy alone, we don't even really realize what happens to our bodies. I mean, if this topic was not brought up to us, I would have never realized it at all, because what we have, you have the menstrual cycle, the premenopause, the menopause, the postmenopause, and then menopause seems to just go throughout a woman's life. But especially, things of atrophy in the nether regions, I was shocked. I was totally shocked. The tissue in the nether regions, include, a lot of things, the urinary tract, the vulva, and you know what, Renee, I'll let you jump into that and talk about
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the phrase use it or lose it has become a basis in medical facts when it comes to maintaining vaginal health and preventing atrophy after menopause or during menopause. Regular sexual activity or stimulation helps preserve that elasticity and the length and the natural lubrication of those tissues by increasing the blood flow to that area. Um, Now, when we're saying use it or lose it, we're talking about if you're in a relationship and you have a partner and you're having relationships on a regular basis and you're stimulating all those wonderful areas in your body. Wonderful. You're probably not going to be on the top of the crazy lose it side of this during menopause if you're sexually active with your partner, your husband, and you're probably going to be a little bit ahead of the game. But vaginal atrophy also is so common, and it's a condition resulting from the natural decline of estrogen levels, primarily during menopause. But the drop in estrogen causes the vaginal walls to become thinner,
Yeah.
drier, less elastic, more prone to irritation or injury. I just was speaking to a person the other day, and they hadn't had any kind of a relationship in over 20 years, and now they're experiencing all this that leads to burning and itching and painful intercourse. And so the use it or lose it principle, the idea behind that, or the context of that stimulation and blood flow, actually, it's a form of exercise for our vaginal tissues. So
Mhm.
that increased blood flow, the sexual arousal and activity with a partner or solo. Now, we're talking solo, we're talking about using a toy, we're talking about stimulating the genital area, the nether regions, okay? Nourished, making it plumper, healthier by taking care of that. And of course, maintaining that elasticity with regular prevention and stretching will help maintain the length of the vaginal canal and preventing it from the atrophy or the shortening or the narrowing, which can occur with prolonged inactivity. Now, all of our listeners may not be in a relationship or even in a relationship with themselves, as I like to call it, because an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away, no doubt about that, but it keeps you healthy as well. And so years ago, Veronica and I both did in-home romance parties.
Yep.
And we would go through and explain all the different things in their relationships and what's going on with their bodies just in general. And then in the ordering room, they come back and talk to you privately one at a time. That's where we would hear the stories that they wouldn't say in front of their friends and family. So it could
Mhm.
be a matter of dryness. It could be a matter of lack of use. Maybe their partner's not active with them any longer. So, we would find toys and different things that they could use for that kind of stimulation, but also lubricants, vaginal moisturizers, all kinds of different things that they could use that were safe.
I think we lost Renee for a hot second, so you know what? We'll continue with this. The use it or lose it principle generally applies to sexual health, of course. It's regular sexual activity that helps maintain tissue and everything. The tissue health in both women experiencing atrophy. So this activity promotes blood flow and the tissue elasticity that she was mentioning as well. But it is a prevention and management stress strategy. It's not a cure. I know we talk about specific things that have to do with the atrophy in the nether region. The increased blood flow that Renee mentioned, the reduced severity, the prevention versus reversal. That's really important too. Regular activities, effective prevention and management. It's also if significant atrophy has also already occurred, things can get a little painful, and it's not recommend it. Like take your time in these cases. You definitely really want to take your time and move along. I know we talk about menopause. We also talk about andropause as well. And you really have to be mindful of that. And let's see, click the link. We have some questions coming in here. Let's see. Let's see here. We have some questions while we try to get Renee back. A little technical issue here. You know, men and andropause, they talk about ED, erectile dysfunction. In men, the use it or lose it concept it's similarly relevant, particularly regarding the ED function. So ED, there's supposed to be regular erections, through activity that helps maintain the health and oxygenation of the penile muscle tissue. Lack of regular performance, so to speak, it can also contribute to scarring or worsening ED over time. So you know what? You want to actually stay in. Regular activity, so to speak. Andropause or age-related testosterone decline is a gradual process that, unlike menopause, it does not involve a complete cessation of hormone production. So lower testosterone can lead to decreased sex drive and, less strong erections, which then contributes to a cycle of less sexual activity and potentially worse ED symptoms. But, the key takeaway to this is, while the use it or lose it idea has a psychological basis related to, blood flow and tissue health, these conditions, they're complex and often require, some sort of medical intervention, beyond just sexual activity. And you want to consult a healthcare provider, for effective management and, treatment options. So a lot of people ask, well, what does vaginal atrophy look like? The area may be pale, shiny, dry. You have thin vaginal walls with, decreased folds. They are often accompanied by reduced hair, labial shrinkage, and sometimes a thin, watery discharge. It appears to be pale or reddish, due to inflammation, and the cervix potentially flush with the wall. And it may feel dry and itchy, and you have that dry, itchy, burning sensation. And of course, there's painful sensations, which can lead to painful sex and urinary issues. So, the physical appearance, women worry about these things. So you didn't think that they would, but they do. Think back in the day and you had not a worry in the world about this, but, physical appearance, external and internal, I can only imagine with the men going through andropause, the external and the internal, the physical appearance of it as well. You have thinning and dryness, you have reduced fullness, the labia majora or the minora can lose the fullness. Vaginal changes, as Renee mentioned, the canal may shorten, narrow, or lose its natural folds, making things appear smoother. So especially the inflammation signs, the redness, the tiny red spots, they can appear if there's inflammation. What it might feel like as far as symptoms. Again, dryness, itching, burning, persistent dryness, there's irritation, there's burning sensation, and you know what? Painful sex, lack of lubrication and thinning tissues, it causes significant discomfort and pain during sex. So, you know what? A lot of times they'll say, let yourself be your own best partner, okay? Men, you have the Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. If you don't have a partner at this time, that you can keep things moving and be able to enjoy things still and make sure that, these things don't happen, in your life. They're going to happen, but continual activity, helps the best. So again, you get into using toys and lubes, and there are also these other little gels that help the women and the men. So I think they kind of go hand in hand. You definitely want to be mindful of the symptoms and, diagnosis and everything. And, you know, let's talk about sex. That's pretty much what it is. You definitely want to use it or lose it. And with that being said, we will also have a time that, just enjoy your bodies and do whatever you need to do. And again, I would love to thank everybody for being here with us this evening. Stay on top of things. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to jump in and send those questions or comments to us. Give us a shout, and we can talk a little bit more about this. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. Sorry about the little bit of technical difficulties, and I look forward to being here, same place, same time next week on Monday at PowHER Hour 2.0. Everyone have a great evening, and we will talk with you soon.